Welcome back, Conscious Mother Truckers. It's your boy Conscious Trucka. About to do this video. Said I was gonna do this video about working with Schneider. The orange company. Alright. So pretty much I started my career out with them, with Schneider, and pretty much only worked with them for like a month. All right, and I'm doing this video just to give you, my reality and my experience. I'm not really doing this video to bash anybody. I'm just giving you my experience and my truth. Okay. So pretty much it started out like this. I went through the whole onboarding process and stuff like that. And I'm at the rail yard, y'all. So I'm waiting for the crane to drop a container on my chassis, and then I'm out of here. So I got some time, so I figured I'd do this video. So what happened was, so this is what happened. The first day, they put you up in a hotel and all that stuff. You know what I mean? I had a room by myself. It was a nice room. Can't complain about that. But what happened was, so the first day we get there, and I get to the facility, go into the facility. I'm looking around a little bit. Facility looks a little like old and outdated. You know what I mean? Could use some paint. Just wasn't the prettiest place or whatever. So I'm like, all right, whatever. This is trucking. So, the first day, we're filling out paperwork and all of that stuff. And then it came time to, because you have to wear boots. They want you to, they're big on safety. Schneider's big on safety. So you have to wear boots. And so it came time to order boots. And if you had your own safety boots, it was cool. You didn't have to buy any or whatever, right? So you had to buy it from them, or you had to go out and buy some. So I said, you know what? I'll just buy it from them or whatever like that. It was like $50 or something like that for the boots. So they had everybody trying on the boots. And so I tried on these boots. They had some like ones that came to your ankle, some that went a little bit above your ankle, then some really high ones, right? So I tried some on that I liked. So I sized them, everything was cool. It pretty much came out of your check. I think it was like your first check or something like that. So the next day I come in and, later that day, they wound up giving me the boots. They gave out boots to everybody, right? So I took them. I took the box. Sorry, it's so loud, but there's a yard jockey out here moved some containers around. So I took the box and I went back to the hotel, right? But I didn't open the box when I got the box, because I figured, okay, well, these are the ones I tried on. I looked at the size. I'm like, all right, these are cool, whatever. So day goes on. I go back to the hotel, and I decide to open the box. I open the box, and I'm like, these ain't the boots that I ordered or whatever like that. Like, what's going on? Whatever. So I was like, all right, whatever. I said, I'll just change them in the morning. So I come in the morning, and I tell one of the instructors, I'm like, can I change my boots? This is in the morning. Everybody's meeting in the morning or whatever like that. So can I change my boots, right? There was a couple of other people that had issue with boots. One of my co-workers pretty much tried on boots, but it was like the wrong size or something like that. So she was trying to get the right size, right? And then there was another issue with the boots or whatever like that. So pretty much they tried to stick me with these boots. They tried to say, well, this is what we have, and What does it matter what boots it is? You need boots, and it's for your safety, and this and that and that and this, right? So I'm looking around, and I see the boots. I see the box of the boots that I ordered in a cabinet, because it was a cabinet, and they had a bunch of boots in there. So I'm like, well, these is the one. I get up. I'm like, and I'm showing one of the instructors. I'm like, these are the boots I ordered. I didn't order these boots. You know what I'm saying? So they made a really big deal about this, right? So eventually I got so frustrated. I was like, you know what? All right, whatever. Just, you know what? If you guys don't act like you want to change my boots, I said, I'll just give me the boots. I'll take the boots, whatever. So eventually I'm talking to one of my other coworkers, the one that had an issue with the boots. She was like, no. She was like, that's not right, or whatever. So she was like, listen. She was like, these ain't the boots that we ordered, or whatever. So eventually they got frustrated. And one of the other instructors was like, well, let me go back in the closet and see which ones do you want, or whatever. So I gave him the boots that I had, took them back. He came back with my boots. And I was like, thank you. I pretty much said thank you to him. You know what I mean? Like, this is all I wanted. Like, I want what I ordered. And especially if I'm paying for it. It's coming out of my check. I'm paying for it. I want what I ordered. So they made a big fiasco. They wound up blaming us for getting out of the building early to go out on the yard to practice maneuvers and get on the road and all that stuff. So they blamed it on us. You know what I'm saying? When they're the ones who messed up people's boots orders, right? So that was the start of my first day, my first 2 days, my first week, or whatever, right? And another issue that I was having, or that everybody pretty much was having, is that, like, we would pretty much come in the morning, and everybody would kind of like gather together in this room, and we would just sit there, and the instructors, like, they just weren't hospitable. You know what I'm saying? They would come in and they would kind of like gather in their little huddle or whatever like that, and then they would come over to us, and they wouldn't even like brief us as what we were doing for the day. They would just be like, all right, come on with us, and we'd be following them around like little puppies. It was weird. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what kind of place is this? Like, they treated us like we were like dogs or something, or some type of an animal. Like, all right, follow me. Didn't even tell us what was going on. I mean, we're grown men and women. You know what I'm saying? So that was another issue that I was having with this company. And then, we would just, it was just like this every day. We would come in and we didn't know what we were doing. You know what I'm saying? And they were all over the place. They said that our class size was big, was bigger than what they usually have, or whatever, right? So they were hiring other instructors from like other parts of the country to come out and help train us, because they were understaffed. You know what I mean? And then they were like shuffling people like between trainers. Like, it would be like 5 of us with one trainer, and they would like shuffle. They didn't know what they were doing. They were all over the place. We wound up, some of us wound up not training or doing the amount of training that we should have got. There was one guy that I became really cool with, and I'm not going to mention his name, but I still talk to him to this day every so often, and he was there for flatbed. Don't you know that the whole time that we were there, he never even touched the flatbed, but there was a flatbed in the garage, and there was other people training on the flatbed? Yeah, and I was like, what? He was like, yeah. He was like, I don't know. He was like, they just never, they didn't train me on flatbed. They didn't have, I guess, an instructor or whatever it was for us or for him to train on flatbed. So he didn't actually get his flatbed training until he actually left the company and got on another account. with another company. So he's no longer with Schneider either. Matter of fact, there's 4 of us that pretty much kept in touch with each other, and only one person is still working with Schneider. So yeah, it was just crazy. Like, and then it was just doing a lot of funny stuff. There was one instructor was really good, and I loved him because he even brought like extra stuff in every day, like flashcards and stuff to teach us certain things. Like, he really took it serious. You know what I'm saying? So he was good. I was really impressed with him. But I'm getting to the good part. I didn't even get to the good part yet. So after training was done, they wound up setting me up with a driver trainer, right? Somebody that I went out with for like a week or whatever to train, right? And I would drive and stuff like that. So initially I was told that I wouldn't have to go so many miles out from my home to meet this trainer, and then I would be able to drive to this trainer. I wouldn't have to get on a plane or anything like that. So I said, cool. So they finally set me up with somebody, but they set me up with somebody. Now, I was doing a local account. They set me with somebody that was OTR, right? That wasn't even my account. It was a totally different account. And so I spoke with the woman who handled like that department that sets you up with the trainers and stuff like that. And she was like, all right, you have to go to, pretty much I had to drive 6.5 hours. I had to rent a car. They rented me a car, drive 6.5 hours to go meet my trainer. All right, so I was like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? I wasn't gonna make a big stink about it. So I wound up driving the 6.5 hours. I get there, they gave me a link for Uber. They sent me to an airport to get an Uber, right? To get the rent-a-car, to drop the rent-a-car off. So I get to the airport, I open the link, I click the link. They're telling me there's no rides in the area. So I couldn't get a ride. I'm sitting there trying to click the link, couldn't get a ride. So I'm calling my dispatcher, I'm calling my fleet manager. Nobody's picking up the phone. I left messages, nobody's calling me back. So I wound up seeing a cab driver outside. He was looking for somebody and he couldn't find who he was looking for. So I pretty much asked him to take me to my hotel. I had to pay like $50-something or something like that to get to the hotel. The company wound up reimbursing me eventually, but I was saying to myself, well, what if I was just starting off, I was a young kid or whatever it may be, and I was broken, I didn't have any money. I didn't have $50 to get a cab. What was I supposed to do? So I did that. Did what I had to do. Boom. Did that. Wound up meeting with my trainer. Went out with my trainer for like 4 or 5 days. He released me. He was so comfortable with me driving that, he would pretty much just sit back and relax. You know what I mean? So that was that. So then I get my own truck. Come in, they give me my own truck. They gave me a truck without any inverter, okay, without any type of electricity in it, where I can plug up, because I bring my own food and stuff like that, where I can plug up a, like a hot plate or whatever to heat my food up. And I don't use microwaves. And I told them that I wanted something with a refrigerator in it. So I get my truck. The truck is dirty. It's old. It runs like crap. There's like 8 things wrong with it. I take it to the shop to get it fixed, everything fixed. It fixed one thing, which was the fire extinguisher holder. It was loose. So they tightened that up. So I'm like, yo, this ain't going good. I had a double bunk with only one mattress. dirty. The truck ran like crap. XYZ. So my dispatcher tells me to come in at like 12 o'clock. I come in 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and this is the first day of my account. I was on a Duracell account. She told me I would only run like maybe 1 or 2 loads. So I get out there, they're constantly adding loads to me, right? So I get to one of the stops, and I'm having a trouble with my my tablet, right? It's telling me that I'm running out of time, drive time and stuff. Now, mind you, I'm new. I'm very new. I don't know a lot about it. I'm still learning the tablet, learning how to work my clock and all of this other stuff. So I call my dispatcher, ain't picking up. I call my fleet manager, not picking up. He just let me out there, left me high and dry or whatever like that, right? Mind you, I didn't get done that day till about 12 o'clock at night. I was so frustrated. I was so mad. I felt like there was no type of support. And on the way back, I still had a load on me at 12 o'clock. But I was so frustrated. I said, you know what? I know most people, I've heard of stories where people, they get so frustrated, they just leave the load wherever they're at and just go home and whatever. But I wound up taking the load back to the terminal. I parked it at the terminal. I took all my stuff out and I went home. And I wound up resigning from this company because I felt like there was no support, right? So I did all of that, right? It was exactly a month when I left. So I left, right? Went home and I was like, you know what? I'll just find another company. So I started looking for other companies. Don't you know, a week later, Schneider called me back. They called me. Pay attention. They called me. They called me back for rehire, right? So they were like, well, maybe, you know, you can get on another account, blah, blah, blah. And I asked them, well, can I change my managers, my dispatcher, blah, blah, blah. And they told me they could. So they were gonna probably try and find me another account. So they sent me back to get another drug test and all of that stuff. So I'm going through that process. And going through that process, and like, mind you, they called me like a week later. When they called me the next day, I went to get my drug test. A day later, I get a call, and they're telling me that they can't accommodate me anymore, which totally confused me, pissed me off, threw me for a loop. Because I said, wait a minute. And I'm telling my wife, I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, I didn't call them to get rehired. They called me. So if they called me to rehire, why all of a sudden now they're telling me they can't accommodate me? So right then and there, I said, you know what? I'll never work for this company again, ever. Not the company side, because I heard the owner-operator side is completely different. But the company side, I would never, ever work for Schneider again. And that's what happened to me. And that's why I said I would never go back. Because I said, now you playing games with me. I'm not about games, all right? So that's my story, all right? So I appreciate you guys listening to my story. I know it was kind of long, but a lot happened during that experience. And that just told me that it wasn't meant to be. I wasn't meant to be at Schneider. So, you know, now I'm at my third company. I'm learning this account. It's pretty decent. I'm doing intermodal and things like that. So, listen, I appreciate you guys. I hope everybody is in good health. You know, be good to somebody. And, you know, do something good for somebody, you know. Be there for somebody. All right? Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. And when you subscribe, hit all. Click all. So when I upload videos, you get all the videos. All right? And I'll talk to y'all then. Peace.